Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are taking one of the absolute most intimidating, frightening-sounding terms in all of cybersecurity, and we're going to completely demystify it. We are breaking down the zero-day attack. If you've ever read a tech news headline and felt just totally lost by the jargon, you are definitely in the right place. My goal today is to explain this concept in detail, but using very simple, everyday words. By the time we wrap up this explainer, you're going to understand exactly how the world's most sophisticated cyber attacks actually work.
To start off, let's talk about something we all experience pretty much every day. You're right in the middle of sending an email, or maybe you're watching a show, and suddenly, bam, a little box pops up on your screen. Software update available. And let's be honest, what do most of us do? We click Remind Me Tomorrow, or we just skip it entirely. It just feels like a constant, everyday annoyance, right? But what if I told you that that annoying little notification is actually the final, dramatic act in a high-stakes, invisible war happening right behind the scenes? To really understand why that update is so incredibly urgent, we have to understand what the software developers are desperately trying to protect you from.
Okay, let's dive into this and decode the jargon. Section 1. Decoding Zero Days, the Invisible Threat. So what does this actually mean? At its core, a zero-day attack is literally exactly what it sounds like, once you know who the zero applies to. It's a cyber attack that exploits a security flaw, like a glitch, that the original software creators absolutely do not know exist. Think about the massive companies that make your software, right? Apple, Microsoft, Google. If a hacker finds a hidden hole in their code, they keep it a closely guarded secret. And because the creators are completely in the dark about this flaw, they've had exactly 0 days to create a fix for it. The zero simply refers to the amount of time the good guys have known about the problem. Now, I know the terminology can sound a bit muddy, but it really just breaks down into a super simple 3-step escalation. Step 1 is the zero-day vulnerability. This is just the flaw itself. You can think of it like an invisible hole in a digital fence. Nobody knows it's there except the hacker. Step 2 is the zero-day exploit. This is the specific tool, the clever trick, or the custom code that the hacker creates to actually sneak through that secret hole. And finally, step 3 is the zero-day attack. This is the actual event, the break-in. It's that critical moment the hacker uses their exploit to steal data, lock up computers, or even cause massive real-world damage.
To make this perfectly clear, let's look at Section 2, the unpickable safe, a real-world analogy.
Let's completely step away from computer screens for a second and look at a physical, real-world scenario. Imagine a high-tech security company builds a bank safe. They test it, they lock it up tight, and they proudly declare to the world, this safe is unpickable. But out in the real world, a clever thief discovers something totally crazy. They realize that if you hit the top left corner of the safe with a rubber mallet while simultaneously turning the dial, the heavy steel door just pops right open. Well, that is the flaw. It's a massive manufacturing mistake. Now the zero-day phase begins, because the safe company is completely clueless about this rubber mallet trick. They haven't warned a single bank or upgraded any of their locks. And finally, the attack. The thief takes their little rubber mallet and robs 3 major banks in a single night.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real danger here. Those banks, they were completely defenseless. They bought a safe they reasonably thought was 100% secure. And the safe company, well, they only find out about the mallet trick after the vaults are already empty and the police are standing there investigating. In a zero-day situation, the clock for the good guys to design a fix only starts ticking after the damage is already done. Until that moment of discovery, the victims and the creators are entirely, completely vulnerable. So, now that we've nailed down the mechanics, let's look at what happens when this shifts from a hypothetical bank robbery to a very real, high-stakes international spy thriller.
Section 3. Stuxnet, the ultimate zero-day.
Okay, let's rewind to the year 2010 and look at a notorious piece of malicious code known as Stuxnet. It was designed to target one very specific location, Iran's nuclear facility in Natanz. But the attackers faced a massive hurdle. This facility was what we call air-gapped. That's a crucial cybersecurity term. To explain it simply, being air-gapped means a computer system is treated like an isolated island. It is completely, physically disconnected from the internet. No Wi-Fi, absolutely no network cables connecting to the outside world. And this is done for maximum security. You literally cannot hack into it from a laptop in another country because there is zero digital bridge to cross.
So how on earth did the attackers get in? Well, they used the digital equivalent of a Trojan horse. The timeline of this heist is just fascinating. Hackers actually managed to load the Stuxnet code onto a physical USB drive. Then, somehow, they got someone to smuggle that tiny drive inside the highly secure facility and plug it directly into a computer.
Once it was inside, Stuxnet just spread silently across the air-gapped network. It hunted for its specific targets, these massive industrial centrifuges used for processing nuclear material. But Stuxnet didn't just break them, it manipulated them. It made the centrifuges spin wildly out of control until they literally tore themselves apart. And here is the most terrifying part of the whole operation. While the machines were physically destroying themselves, Stuxnet sent fake, perfectly normal-looking data to the security screens up in the control room. The operators sitting there thought everything was running perfectly smoothly until they literally heard the machines crashing and breaking down through the walls.
So the crucial point is, how did this code spread so deeply and completely avoid detection by standard security software inside a highly guarded nuclear facility? The answer is the number 4. Stuxnet didn't just use one zero-day vulnerability. It utilized an unprecedented 4 completely unknown flaws in the Microsoft Windows operating system, all at the exact same time. Finding just one zero-day is incredibly rare. Utilizing 4 simultaneously, that's like finding 4 secret doors into an impenetrable fortress in a single night.
Section 4, Danger and Value. A lucrative threat.
This really brings us to the broader implications of these attacks in our super-connected modern world. Let's detail exactly why these attacks are so uniquely dangerous. First off, total surprise. They slip past standard digital defenses effortlessly because nobody knows what they're supposed to be looking for. Second, because they grant this invisible godlike access, zero-day vulnerabilities are highly, highly valuable. And we aren't just talking about bragging rights for basement hackers here. These secret flaws are effectively modern digital weapons. Governments, intelligence agencies, and global cybercriminal syndicates will regularly pay hundreds of thousands, sometimes literally millions of dollars, on the dark web just to purchase these secret flaws before the software companies ever find out about them.
Now you might be wondering, but wait, doesn't my antivirus software protect me from this stuff? Well, not against a true zero-day. As this quote perfectly summarizes, traditional antivirus software works like a digital wanted poster. Antivirus programs scan your computer looking for the specific signatures, like the recognized faces of known viruses. But if a zero-day exploit is brand new, it obviously has no wanted poster. It just waltzes right past the digital security guards because its face has literally never been seen before.
So, how does the madness ever end? This brings us to Section 5, the race to patch, fixing the flaw.
A zero-day attack officially loses its terrifying zero-day status the exact second the good guys finally find out about it. Step 1. The flaw is discovered. Maybe a malicious hacker gets sloppy and gets caught using the mallet trick, or maybe a good guy ethical hacker finds the flaw and responsibly reports it to the company. Step 2. Absolute frantic panic at the software company. Developers drop everything they're doing and rush to write new code to plug up that secret hole. And Step 3. They push that newly written code out to the world. We call this a security update or a patch.
But here's the unintended consequence of releasing a patch. Now, what's really interesting about this is that releasing a security update is essentially firing a starting gun for a massive global race. The very second Apple or Google or Microsoft releases a patch, hackers all over the world instantly download it. They pull the patch apart, they reverse engineer it to figure out exactly what hole the company just filled in. Because once the hackers know exactly where the hole was, they quickly write a brand new exploit to attack everyone who hasn't clicked install on the patch yet.
Which brings us right back to that annoying little notification popping up on your screen. When your phone begs you to update, it is essentially screaming at you, hey, the manufacturer just found a secret doorway right into your life, and the bad guys are currently analyzing the blueprints. The zero-day might be over for the software creators, but if you don't actually update your device, the zero-day isn't over for you. So I leave you with this thought. Is your device's latest security update still sitting there, waiting to be installed right now? And if so, who do you think is racing to exploit it while you wait for tomorrow? Update your devices, stay curious, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.